Hi, my name is Katie Kennan, and I'm going to be analyzing one of our class texts, Does This Make My Head Look Big? Looking at it through a feminist lens with some of the questions and frameworks that were shared with me. So in this module, I've been exploring feminist text and applying that lens to class text. I chose, like I said, Does This Make My Head Look Big? This resource, the OWL Purdue resource with the questions and the framework, it places a lot of emphasis on the importance of examining literatures through these lenses, and seeing if the literature either supports or rejects the oppression of women. The two questions that I chose were, how do the men/women accept or reject the gender roles that society places on them? And also, in what ways does the text either subvert or uphold patriarchal ideology? And looking at these questions with this text, it allowed me to dive even deeper into analyzing. I think as an English teacher, I feel like I'm an expert in analyzing and annotating. So it was really cool to look at it through a different lens. So for example, looking at an opposition to wear her hijab, and how her classmates view it through the lens of like traditional roles. They see it and they assume that it's a sign of submission. However, she sees it as an act of autonomy and self-expression. Rather than just passively accepting this role, she's actively choosing how she wants to appear and practice her faith. And I think that's really important because a lot of times, especially in today's society, I feel that everyone thinks that like feminists or people that are woke should act one way, but that's not true. Especially just kind of diving in and not holding anything back, just because with like it's pro-life and pro-choice, just because a woman is pro-choice doesn't mean that she necessarily would choose to have an abortion for herself, but that still means that she's pro-choice. And I think that's a really good simile for this text and how she is choosing to wear her hijab. So this directly ties back to the OWL's emphasis of identifying whether characters are complacent in an activity challenging societal norms. Her choice challenges a stereotypical Western assumption that, wearing a hijab is oppressive. And she complicates this notion of traditional roles by showing that she can also be empowered and still choose to wear a hijab. Another guiding question is in what ways does the text either subvert or uphold patriarchal ideology? This question focuses on how the literature can reinforce power structures traditionally favoring men. I think in the text, the one aspect of the patriarchal ideology is that the men of the story, the brothers, the friends, the fathers, should dictate the woman's choice. But that's not the case with Amal's relationship, especially with her father. That relationship is unique in the way that they have concern for her well-being. They don't prevent her from wearing her hijab. I mean, really, their main worry was just about how the society will react. And this aligns with the Alice framework, which encourages us to look for moments where women's autonomy is recognized or restricted. And I think in this book, her autonomy was definitely recognized by the men in her family. And so overall, looking at this text through using the feminist lens really helped me see how this novel challenges, stereotypes, and it prompts critical thinking of, well, she's doing this, and I would normally think that would mean that she's traditional and that she's being oppressed, but she's choosing to do it. And so then we kind of have to look back at our own biases and realize, hey, just because she's choosing to do this doesn't mean that she is being oppressed. I mean, she's just invoking her autonomy. And it also prompts critical thinking about how the gender roles are constantly intersecting with her religious and cultural identity. I mean, she did this because it was her faith. And so I really enjoyed this assignment, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it as well. Thank you.